Okay, one kind of simple last question, and then I think there's one or two questions that have fired in. Um, there's one here. Ronan saying, "You're looking good, Richie," just so you know that.
Thanks.
But before we get there, um, pitch ideas. So obviously you've done a lot of pitching if you've gone
Yeah.
for investment, and you talk about nearly doing it in sprints and kind of 2 week sprints, speaking to a lot of investors. Any tips on how a startup can actually pitch? Some pitching tips.
Um, I guess so. Yeah. Well, like I think the biggest thing that we've learned over our time, and like we came into NURC, and I remember the pitch definitely, has evolved a lot of times, and we've had mentorship and pitch training, and we've actually had acting classes, which is quite funny. But I think the biggest thing is just telling your story. If you're not telling your story, it's very difficult for people to connect with you. So like, and that goes back to kind of a lot of things that I've been saying about building relationships and building trusts. Um, if you're just kind of pitching this idea and forcing it at people without putting it in context and building the story about why you're doing this, why you really feel the pain, and why you're striving to find the solution, right? I think people, if you really believe in it and you're able to, tell your story on why you believe in it, and why you're going to make this happen, that's very easy for somebody to buy into and for someone to really get a lot of insight about what you're all about. So I think the first thing is to map it out your story. Don't just try to follow the kind of the standard template of problem, solution, market size, market rate. What would you like to hear in your own story, and how would you like it replayed back? Because people are just like you, they're going to find the same things interesting, and especially at an early stage, people often go too much into this is the size of the market, and in 4 years it's going to grow 5,000%, and no one actually cares. Everyone knows that the market's growing, and everyone's going to say the same thing, so you're not making the most of your time. Do whatever it is to tell them about you, and to tell them about why you're doing what you're doing, and what is your vision, and how you're going to achieve it. And if you believe in your idea and you tell that story, then they should believe in you too.